p.m.
I happened to go to the front window, and looking down, I saw 5 big Hawaiian policemen standing on the opposite sidewalk, looking over toward our place. We did not know what they intended doing. Anything might have happened. At that moment, a pistol shot was heard coming from 4th Street.
I was in 4th Street. I heard the pop of a gun. I went to the corner and was told a policeman had been shot.
And the noise resounded all through Honolulu town. Everyone rushed down to 4th Street to see what had happened.
A loaded wagon with arms from Hall & Sons was going to the armory. The policeman tried to stop it. The driver pulled out a pistol and shot the policeman.
The officer, whose name was Lealoha, was then sent to the Queen's Hospital.
I now saw Mr. Dole and a body of men coming up through Merchant Street towards the government building. I noticed that all the Boston officers had placed themselves in the proper positions, with their men ready to make a move. A few minutes after, Mr. Dole and party turned the corner of Palace Square and entered the government yard, thence to the main entrance to the building, where they stopped, and Mr. Cooper read the proclamation.
The Hawaiian monarchical system of government is hereby abrogated.
No one was watching him. There wasn't a crowd.
A provisional government is hereby established to exist until terms of union with the United States of America have been agreed upon.
No one knew. It was a very quiet thing.
The Queen's government was then in the possession of the barracks and the police station. The question was whether she should make opposition to the provisional government.
The household guard was in control of the royal palace, with a total armed force of 272 men.
I had 224 men under arms, and more men were coming in than I could find guns for. I proposed to the cabinet to send our armed forces out from all quarters, surround them, and shoot them down, as they were only a handful.
It had not entered our hearts to believe that these friends and allies from the United States would ever seize our nation by the throat and pass it over to an alien power.
The Hawaiian monarchy has been abrogated and a provisional government established. We hereby request that you will, on behalf of the United States of America, recognize it as the existing de facto government of the Hawaiian Islands.
I hereby recognize said provisional government as the de facto government of the Hawaiian Islands.
If we did not by force resist their final outrage, it was because we could not do so without striking at the military force of the United States. I, Liliuokalani, yield to the superior force of the United States of America until such time as the government of the United States shall undo the action of its representatives.
On the advice of the cabinet, I gave way and surrendered under the terms of the Queen's protest. About 7:15 p.m., I disarmed all the volunteers at the station house. Gentlemen, it is not because I thought that you would not stand and fight, but it was in the cause of humanity that I gave way, especially when it was pointed out to me that we would have to fight a great nation like the United States with her millions of men. And to do this would only cause the sacrifice of hundreds of valuable human lives, which this country cannot afford to lose. It is better, therefore, to give way and await patiently the time until our Queen's protest shall have been heard by that great and good nation, the American Republic, from which I have no doubt we will receive justice.
Sunday, February 5th, 1893. It is a gloomy day, and it rains. 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 Do not feel like going to church. I never saw a more unchristian-like set as these missionaries, and so uncharitable as to abuse me in the manner they do from the pulpit.
Immediately upon taking control, the provisional government instituted essentially martial law.
If any person owing allegiance to the provisional government adheres to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort, he is guilty of treason.
So, under penalty of imprisonment and perhaps death, Hawaiians are being told they cannot support the Queen.
You had all kinds of laws against sedition. Newspapers would be looked at and would be examined very critically for their content.
They forced the police and the government workers to sign oaths of allegiance or to suffer loss of employment.
But the new government is not, by any means, secure.
The provisional government troops and administrators